have seen no investment, and many are in depression states. And when you have crime rates that exceed that in LA and New York combined, and when you have a pension debt of $20 billion, that could be $78 billion if the projections are off, you need a problem solver. You need a real problem solver. At the end of the day, candidates need to offer substantive solutions. And we've had 50 years of this political establishment. And what do we have to show for it? What does Roseland and Englewood have to show for it? Nothing.
Senator Mendoza.
Thank you. I'm running for mayor because the future of our city is at stake. And I'm concerned not just about the next 4 years, but about the next generation. This is no time for a caretaker mayor or someone who represents the status quo. I love this city with all my heart, and the issues that impact Chicagoans are the issues that impact me: high violence, high property taxes, under-resourced schools. You know, I mentioned it, I touched a point that as a 7-year-old little girl, my parents felt that the only solution for them was to get us out of our neighborhood. No family should have to leave their neighborhood because of violence. My husband and I are parents of a 6-year-old who is a kindergartner in a local CPS neighborhood school. We've got some major skin in the game in improving Chicago public schools, and I promise you I will stand with you, fighting for you and your kids and your grandkids every minute that I am alive and breathing. It's time we have a mayor that is from the neighborhoods, who understands the neighborhoods and puts neighborhoods first, and I hope you join me in shaping Chicago's future together.
Dorothy Brown.
You know, John F. Kennedy said, "A rising tide lifts all boats." Andrew Henry said, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired." And I say, enough is enough. We can no longer let the Chicago machine put the stranglehold on the city of Chicago. I'm a Democrat, but I'm unbought and I'm unbossed. I'm unbought and I'm unbossed. I'm an independent Democrat. And I have the perfect background, experience, and the heart to be the mayor of the city of Chicago. I'm an attorney, so I can handle the legal lawmaking body of the city council. I'm a CPA and an MBA, so I can handle the $8 billion budget of the city of Chicago, because I've been doing that with a $100 million budget for the last 18 years. And I have the heart because I came from a set of poor and uneducated parents that taught me the value of hard work and dedication. I understand the least to the greatest. Now, we've heard some flowery words, and we've even heard some comedy routines, but that's what got us Donald Trump. Time.
Oh, nice way to end it. Nice way to end that one. That was an end. Yeah, that's a closer. That's a closer. All right, boy.
If you always do what you always did, then you'll always get what you always got. The bottom line is, I am not a politician. It's the corrupt politics of Chicago that has put us in the condition that we're in. Suddenly, it's become fashionable to not be part of the machine, to not be part of the establishment here. I am beholden to nobody except my family, and therefore I can be trusted. I spent 17 years at the top of city government in 3 major cities in this country. I'm a manager. I will bring change. Everybody wants change in this city. We've got to stop focusing on what makes us different. We've got to stop the polarization, and we've got to start focusing on what makes us the same, which is, I know you want for your family what I want for mine, which is health, happiness, and a safe environment to live in. Thank you.
Lori Lightfoot.
The thing I would ask of all of you in this room, and the thing that you should take home with you and talk to your neighbors about, is what does change look like? As you evaluate the candidates that are in this race, ask yourself, who stood up and put themselves out to advocate for people all over the city while Rahm Emanuel was still on the ballot? Who jumped in only after Goliath was slayed? Because they were saying to you, things were either just fine or they were afraid. You don't need a leader who's afraid. You need a leader who's going to take on the tough choices, work with you, and bring change to the city. We have one of the most competitive elections, maybe in our lifetime, but certainly in 25 years. We have an opportunity to speak our values. Now, if you want the same old, well, you got an a la carte menu of choices. But if you want change and a leader who is independent and who will speak for you, I'm your candidate. Let's do this on February 26th.
Thank you. Bill Daley.
Thank you very much. I am very proud of the fact that I've been a lifelong resident of this city. I think it's a great city. Everyone up here could throw red meat, can say whatever they want. The fact is, I'm very proud of the private sector success I've had and the fact of my government service with President Clinton and President Obama. I love this city. I know this city. This is a great thing that you have so many candidates. Those of us who've lived there our whole life know it's never happened. That is a good sign for the future of this city. Okay? But we cannot, through this campaign, pit neighborhood against neighborhood. We cannot pit the lakefront against Lakeview, or Mount Greenwood against the East Garfield, or Edgebrook against Englewood. That will destroy this city. We've got to come together, and we've got to move forward, and I think I can be the leader for this city to do that. Thank you very much. I ask for your vote. I ask for your support, and I'd be honored to be your mayor.
Amara Enya.
So to put it in context, the decision that happens on February 26, 2019 will determine the next 2 generations of who gets to call themselves a Chicago, who deserves to be here. The question is not who jumped out when Ron was still running. The question is who's been advocating on these issues outside of an election season. And the answer is all of you in this room. I stand here not as someone who's going to tell you what I'm going to do for you, but someone who stood with all of you. My job is to amplify your voices in the corridors of power, because that's what's been missing in the city of Chicago for decades. So we can wait for people to say that they're going to save us, or we can put those of us who've been doing this work to save ourselves. That is the opportunity, and it will determine the face of this city for the next 50 to 100 years. So we should ask ourselves, what do we want, and who is best to take us there?
Yes.
I want to thank all of you for being here today and for your avid participation.